good morning, and good morning. In the words of Folo Falodun, I would like to say welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. We are streaming from Lagos, Nigeria to West Africa, to Africa and the entire world. It's such a pleasure to be here once again, and some good morning it is, and we're going to be able to have a great time on the show. Um, we have our analysts who will be joining us from different parts of the world. We have analysts from Kenya, we have analysts from UAE, we have analysts from US, we have analysts from Ibadan, and we have analysts from Lagos and other parts of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. And I'll be bringing up the popular, famous Dr. Folo Falodun and our special analyst from the country of Kenya. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the show this morning.
It's like I would like to ask, Waithera, were you raised up smiling, as in probably you're told to look at the mirror every day for 30 minutes and just smile?
No, I don't even think I smile that often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just smile like you've seen something coming, like you've gotten some money that we don't know about. Tell us now before FBI comes after you.
You wear your smile very beautifully, I must say.
Yes, I feel like
Thank
jumping
you.
into the screen. I say, come over here.
Please come to Kenya. Come to Kenya. Come to Kenya.
Yeah, right.
Franklin said, you look so much better when you smile. So we smile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
So let's make it a trio thing. You're putting on glasses, he's putting on glasses.
Yes, please.
Their father.
Welcome to the
All right. Welcome to the show. And we have Taiwa Dekwaju, such infectious smile this morning. You see, you're spreading, you're infecting people. You're a pandemic.
This is a good one, a very good
A
one.
good
This is one thing
pandemic.
you want to spread.
Interesting.
It's something you want to spread.
And in the spirit of spreading, I think we just start off with the headline news. Oh, before that, okay, yes, it's a headline news. I would like to just say to everyone who's out there, today is my dad's
Yeah, I thought you were going to sleep.
birthday. Hello? Can you hear
The
me now?
network seems to be freezing, but we have to say that. Please take it again.
I said today's my dad's birthday, and I think it's a headline for me. So
Yeah.
my dad's turning 75 this morning, this day. Even
From
though
all of us at
I'm
the
not,
Good Morning Education Show, yes, we're saying happy birthday to Daddy Tire, and we're
yeah,
expecting his son to declare like everybody should get a package today.
yes, a package of smiles
Yes.
powered by Waithera INC.
I am sending my love and my smiles. Happy birthday to your dad.
Thank you, everyone. You could also send. I could send account number, so just in case you want to either.
Not yours, please. Yes, we'll gladly take his,
Just
but
in
not
case
yours.
you just no. I have to deliver it on your behalf. Do you understand? So so
No.
that we can explain. We can explain. If you send money to his account, if you're wondering, he
We'll
probably
put
will
it
tell
in
the
the
bank to take it
narration.
away. So
No,
that
it
I
should be
can
in the
explain
narration.
and champion accountability. No, he has to know it. So I need to say there's a thing follow from the Good Man Education Show, and then there's a white from Kenya. That's what I'm saying. All right. So let's head on to the first headline. A nice one indeed. This is coming from Green Springs, and we have Green Springs students to win $960,000 I repeat, $960,000. I was calculating. I said just $40,000 left. Guess what? They're $1 million away. I probably would have asked the school to just add $40,000 for the effort so that it's on record that they won $1 million in Young Tycoon Business Contest. Now the question is this. No, let me not ask the question. Just you guys comment.
Looking at what they came up with, yes, they were talking about the seed for your solution, and these are children who are taking the solution for insecurity for school children into their own hands. And they came up with a wearable technology that is to counter abduction of school children in the country. And when the kids were talking, they said that the inspiration for their business idea is from the insecurity situation in the country. They're concerned, they're not happy about what is happening to other children in all parts of the country. And so they came up with this air guard wearable technology that can alert when children are about to be abducted. And this is so really heartwarming, very, very commendable. It's something that, yeah, I support you that the school should just round off the amount for them. Even it may not be about the aesthetics of the technology. It may not even be so much about the functionality, but the thoughts, the intention. These are children that are not sitting down like like the adults in their lives and blaming one government and one person after the other, but taking the initiative to say we're going to find a solution to this problem. Really, the students I span.
All right. Why, Sarah, do you want to say something?
Um, this is extremely impressive. That people are stepping up to solve problems, and not just complain about what's going on. So that's really impressive, and way to go. It's a lot of money.
And to think, in fact, I'm going to taunt a friend of mine with this headline because some years ago, I had a strategy session with some ed tech guys. There's a guy that builds drones, right? And I challenged him and I told him his other colleague also traveled to Germany, and they actually brought answers to the question. I told them, what's the answer to some of these solutions like kidnapping and all? And he gave like six solutions. In fact, one of which this headline speaks to, but not in direct terms. I'm going to taunt him because it was something that I even used when I spoke at the conference of a school association, that I have friends that actually I subjected them to questions on the issue of social vices and how they can answer with tech. And I said it's something schools can't do. So I believe by the time he sees this kind of response, he will probably dust himself off procrastination, because there are people. Look, there are people. Let me even share one of his ideas. I don't care if he comes after me. Well, we were talking about the possibility of coming up with something that doesn't even need internet, right? And it's almost 60-meter radius where it can emit signals so that you can trace. It could be a shoe, it could be in the school uniform, tagged to the uniform, where if a child is abducted, you can actually tell where the child is, and it's not needing internet. It's low and medium frequency. It works with the RF radio frequency of radio signals. So those kind of things, they are things. It's just to have the faith and believe that it will work. But of course, thank God for Green Springs. Green Springs has the clout. And sometimes these things is why we always tell people who have the privilege to use and harness it. Some people have answers and solutions in their head, but they probably might not even enroll for this. They might not even have the access. So let's thank the school management for being a creative school. In fact, they call themselves the thinking school, and they've shown that they're a thinking school. Dr. Motola, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, everyone.
That's a short one. Good morning, everyone. All right. Dr. Mota, do you have anything to say about this headline that we have currently?
Yeah. Uh, yes, I think it's really incredible, and I'm excited for the school and for the student. I believe this is the labor of all their effort of them being innovative, of thinking differently and doing things differently, and they are getting that result. So I am rooting for them. I'm rooting for the students, and I hope that we get to celebrate when it actually happens.
Thank you so much. So on that note, we are going to another headline. Video shows soldiers escorting children to school in the Northeast over insecurity. It stirs massive reaction. Let's hear your own reaction on this.
So this is exactly what those amazing students of Green Springs are trying to find a solution to. And it's saddening to think that that the time would come when we would see soldiers escorting our children to school. It's not normal. It's not something that should be encouraged. If it happens at all, it should be for a short while, because these are children. The way they process things are completely different from the way adults process things. The image they're having about schooling, the ideas and opinion they're already forming about what education is tainted. And well, what I would say is this needs to be arrested. This situation needs to be arrested. We need to find a solution to it. Like I say, that it's not that insecurity doesn't affect only children. It affects everybody. But if only for the sake of the children, if only for their sake, let's be proactive about this thing and find a solution to it.
Any other person wants to say something?
Yeah, I think
Anyone?
that at least they're willing to even offer shoulders up to do it, that they're not just indefinitely stopping education and not. So even though it's not the best solution and it's a temporary one, I'm glad that at least they had the initiative to at least start with that. And hopefully things will get to the point where they don't need soldiers to escort them to school.
Well, it's such a sad one that this has to. It's not even safe because if there is a crossfire, there will be casualties. In fact, the soldiers are not fully in a position to protect as they should, because their priority is to keep the children safe, so they can be ambushed. You know. Anyways, so let's go to another one. AUN president closing schools to prevent kidnapping will increase out of school children.
Here we are again on this insecurity issue. My submission will just be, please, let's end insecurity. Let's arrest it. The government has shown that it can be proactive where it has interests. So let this also be one of the priority areas of interest. All around the country, it's not safe for people to move. We had a comment by our esteemed tribe member, Adebayo. I think that was last week. Meanwhile, we have even missed him on the show. And he was, from that comment, it was obvious that he had maybe an issue with insecurity on the highway. this is this has become a menace. I think it's the pandemic that we have been dealing with as a country before we had the COVID-19 pandemic. And really, there are different ways, there are many different ways that it can play out. It's not just about having more out of school children. It's not about having soldiers escorting children to school. It's not about children being there are so many different ways that this can be spun. And my submission is just this needs to end. And the government, both at the federal, at the state, and at the local levels, need to prioritize security of the citizens.
Olushola Olumide, do you have anything to say to that, please? Can we have Olushola Olumide?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Hello,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can.
Yes, I think Rotimi was saying something.
He was asking for your reaction to the comment
Uh,
by the UN
to
president.
yeah, okay, thank you very much. I think Finya said it all. As much as we don't want to increase the number of out of school children, at the same time, the children are not supposed to be a prey. They are not supposed to be kidnapped, traumatized. Because if somebody experiences kidnapping, even if it's only for 1 week, are you sure that person can psychologically come back to class? I think government should please do something. They should please do something. They should please do something. Uh, Thank you.
Dr. Mokola, do you want to say something on that?
Yes, you sound so far away. I think more than ever it is necessary. Like we've been having these issues since 2014, and I think it's high time that there is a solution, because I remember it happened where like people came into, like, it was, were at church on a Sunday, and they came in and started shooting and everything during a church service. And I still remember that vividly. Like, people got trampled. Thankfully, nobody in the church died except like two police officers that were supposed to be manning the church outside and things like that. And so I think it is not good for the psychology of the children. It's not good for the kind of future that we want for them. So absolutely, there needs to be urgency attached to this.
Well, we hope for a change, we hope for something better. Um, let's see how it works. All right. So we have another headline that says reality show on self-development for youngsters take off.
Okay, I
Let's
am excited. I'm
hear.
excited that we have something intellectual, something that is good for self-development, something that is good for self-realization for our young people, for young African children. When we think reality shows in this part of the country, most of what we think about is empty competitions. They really do not hold so much water. You wonder what really is the aim of this competition, apart from maybe some of the obvious vices where people are pillaged with alcohol, with cigarettes and tobacco and all of that. You wonder what really are these people supposed to be, maybe like in like lab rats? Are they being used for some psychology experiments? But and that's what our young people are seeing. You see the number of people that turn out for the auditions, and you're wondering the thousands of young people turning out for these auditions. I'm wondering what exactly, well, the prize money is very is very attractive. But apart from that, the lifestyle is saying something to young people like, oh, this is what it means for you to be on continental TV. So if we're having a reality show that is aimed, as is targeted at helping African children, African teenagers realize themselves, develop, actualize their dreams, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm just wondering why it doesn't have so much publicity. Because if not for this headline, I had not heard anything about this. It needs to be pushed as much as this other reality shows are being pushed, and we're hoping that this is. I'm hoping that this is sustained, and that we have more seasons of it, that maybe it's becomes regional or zonal, whichever way, but that more teenagers have access to this, and that as other reality shows, singing and every other dancing and all of those things are publicized, that this is also given that much publicity. Okay,
This is so
anyone else
exciting.
wants to go on that?
This is a really exciting development. And just as you said, Faye, it's I can't wait to see how it goes. It could be a pilot, really, and give ideas to other people as well to start doing the same thing, which again will, you know, bring to consciousness of many young people that self-development matters, and it also pays, because I don't think that's the message that's on right now. The message is not that develop yourself and, grow, and then the money will come as well. It's more of what can we do that we can get money for instantly. So this is a step in the right direction, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Grant. Dr. Moltola, are you there?
Yes, I'm ready.
So grant for
Did
the
you say
day, please.
something?
Thank you.
Oh, sure. All right.
The
So
grant
the
for the
grant
day.
of today is from the grant for today is from Winnick Family Foundation. The deadline is rolling, and you can get up to $10,000. The field of work you can apply this to is education, animal welfare, general art and culture, Judaism, Jewish culture, literacy, healthcare access and delivery. An applicant type is nonprofit. The funding can be used for education or outreach, general operating expense, a project or program. And the location is either any country in Africa, Antigua, Asia, Europe, so basically across all the continents in the world. And you can definitely check out their website for more information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Motola. That was quite brief. So we head on to the conversation of the day, and we're talking about the new broadband. I remember many years ago, I won't want to mention names, but there was a particular brand of internet service that I was almost like stuck onto. I've always been a loyal customer. I'm always a loyal customer. Any brand I choose, I tend to just stick with them, even when they're messing up, you know. So I don't know if I should mention the name, but then they won my heart. Even when people are putting into other platforms, and then they're talking about broadband, the new so G, the da G. But then really using that concept is quite interesting, especially when we're looking at today's world where we are totally technified or tech migrated in nature. Everything has to do with internet speed and all that. But now let's take a cue from that and bring that to our own personal reality. Um, Dr. Otto, I said I should mention it. It's empty. So you see, just as I'm about to mention it, the internet decided to show itself that be careful. But really, I used to use Starcoms. Starcoms was one. Starcoms was quite popular then. I don't know if you know about Starcoms. I was very. They took my money, my entrepreneurship money. They took it. I was a Starcom junkie. you know, I just spent money on Starcom. There's this USB stick you just plug in, and then you know what, you just have internet running. And at some point in time, they started depleting without using it. And then people started hacking it. So many stories. But then that was it. But now let's look at it from the angle of the new broadband. I think the broadband perspective, for our audience, the broadband perspective, sorry about the internet. I just want speed to take over so that there's no. But the broadband perspective is just talking about the speed of work, the speed of achievement, the extent at which we go, which is supported by if you go with others. That's pretty much what the concept is today. So I'm going to hand over to Fini to help navigate this conversation. My broadband in terms of internet seems to be crappy. So let's hand over the broadband dynamics to the lady in a city where it will take you some hours before you can get her. All right, so over to you, Fini.
Okay. No comments. But I must say that when it comes whilst we talk about broadband, we're definitely not talking about the kind of connectivity and the kind of connection that we get from our network providers. I was almost in panic this morning when my network just showed absolutely no bars. So there was no way to make calls. There was no way to even access the internet, and I'm certain that at some point or the other, we all have experienced that kind of disconnectivity when it comes to our broadband services. But this, like we have heard from the intro this morning, we're looking at connectivity, collective, um, helping ourselves collectively, joining together. The definition of the broadband when I looked it up is high capacity frequency, high capacity performance. So how do we as individuals and then as groups of individuals, how do we come together to perform optimally, to enter into a place or to enter into a field or to enter into a conference, pick up a topic, and we are crushing down everything that stands in the way. So I'll start with Waithera.
Hey, so please repeat that question. Sorry.
Okay. I wasn't too sure you were hearing me all through either. But how do we harness our different frequencies? We all come with individual, different strengths of capacity. How do we come together
Mm,
to put that together and become this force, this unstoppable force when we unite all of our strengths?
I think first of all, it has to come from a place of people being aware of what their own strengths are and being secure in it. Because many times people, tend to be in silos because you're afraid we are competing. We are looking at the same market, and so if you take some, I lose some. So it would start with being secure in your strengths, knowing these are my strengths, this is what I do well, and so it doesn't take anything away from me to be with other people, and understanding that 1 plus 1 uh, is not 2, but is, 3 or 4. So I think understanding that, and understanding that having an abundance mindset as well, that there's enough for all of us. And so the more when we come together, we can do more together. So I think those are the things that come to mind when I think about coming together to harness our strengths.
All right, thank you very much, Waithera. So, coming together would release more. Now that we know that, before you do, or maybe before you do something, or while you're doing something, uh, you you do it because you already know why you're doing it. Now, how do we even come together in the first place? Understanding that human beings are highly competitive. We all want to, in our own place, want to prove our titles, want to prove ourselves, and say, oh, I am this and this person. You walk into a room and you want people to immediately recognize you as that person who does this or who does that. So how do we come together in the first place? How do we get connected? And I'd like to take this to Molushola Olumide.
Oh, thank you, Finn. Um, Great submission from Watara there. As much as we are competitive, I want to believe objectivity matters a lot. You may be good or you have proficiency in many things. At the same time, other people too may have the same skill set. But if you look at it objectively, you want to believe, I think this guy or this lady does it better than I do in this area. And for me, I have imbibed an attitude, and I tell people that humility is key. And I tell people in life, human being appears to have two major problems. Number one is ignorance. Number two is arrogance. We all have some form of ignorance. We don't know it all. And the ability to prefer other people, ability to give it to them, appreciate them, celebrate them, I think it will take off the armor we are all wearing. You've seen somebody, the person feels you're a competitor, but you celebrate the person, you appreciate the person, even though the person was coming to compete with you and go head to head and whatever. But when the person sees your disposition, he feels, I think this should be a collaborator, not a competitor. So it will help the other person, because in the case of running against each other, even things the other people are doing right, we tend to undermine it as if they are doing something not so important. Before we know it, jealousy will come in, envy will come in. We even lose focus about why we are here. Everybody is trying to prove a point, push things to himself or to herself. So I feel if I see you as a friend, even though we're in the same industry, it's easy for me to reach out to you. Oh, Selfie, oh, I'm having an issue in this area and I know you are an expert in this field. Please, can you help me? Can you give me a helping hand? And together, each achieve more. That is team. Together, each achieve more. So I feel we should learn to lie low, appreciate other people, be humble. Then we should be able to learn. And we should celebrate one another. I think, as they used to say, the sky is so big that the birds can fly without necessarily eh, tangling with each other or pulling the other one from the sky. So that is my submission.
Thank you very much for that. We need to shed ego. We need to shed. Um, I would also say that we need to shed shame, the thinking and the thought of, will I not look like I'm not measuring up? We need to also shed that. I'll take this straight to Motola. how do we seek out true quality and lasting connections? Now we know why we should seek connection. We know how we should seek connection. So we know yeah, how do we get connected? But in getting connected, how do we get the true kind of connection that we want, and not something that is ephemeral out of, oh, we find ourselves, we both have the same passion, we're excited on the spot, and oh, we need to do something together, yeah, that'll be good, and then we hug it out, we fist bump it out, and you just find out that along the line it fizzles out. So how do we seek true quality and lasting connections?
Um, Thank you for the question. And before I answer it, so I openly thank you for your comment about me. I appreciate it. This is part of seeking connection, right? So just to be clear, I had issues with my computer and it was not starting up for like 10 minutes. And I hate being late for something. So I was feeling a bit frantic. So if I started code in the beginning, I was just trying to get my act together and make sure that I could deliver on the grant of the day and everything. So thank you for that. I just wanted to address that. Then back to your question, Fini. So for me, I think it starts with being vulnerable because that is the only way, at least the way that I have been able to build lasting connection that have lasted the test of time is true vulnerability. Like not acting as if you are bigger than what you are in like to the people that really matter. And so being able to say, this is where I am, this is where I want to go to. And I know that I still need help. I still and being self-aware enough and being like what I know her name is Unko. She likes to say being bulletproof in who you are and what you have to offer as well. So yes, you might and you know, there's a people say a lot that if you're the smartest person in the room or smartest person around your friend, then you need a new like circle of friendship or something like that. And so the goal will be to first and foremost be vulnerable, know where you are, know your limits, know what are your issues and issues that you need to sort out, know your strengths, be bulletproof in who you are, what you can do, and then like there's this quote, I think it's from the say, he who want to be a friend, he himself must be friendly. So that's another part of building connection. If you're putting up a fake a mask, and then you expect other people are putting up a max as well. And it takes someone to break it before that deep connection really happened. And I'll give you an example. So I have a friend that I met in 2012. She's in Singapore. Like, and up to now, we still keep in touch. No matter how bad it, at least once a month or twice, once every 2 months, last. We find a way to connect for 3 hours and just use WhatsApp to talk and chat and sometimes Skype and everything. And we've not seen each other since over 4 years ago. Like that was the last time we saw each other, but we still have that connection because when we come together, there is no shame, there's no judgment. We are vulnerable about where we are, where we're going, and then we give each other advice and encourage each other and go. But if you're trying to act as if we have it together when we don't have it together and try to just fake it till we make it, it's never going to be deep. It's going to definitely fade out. So I think it's very important from the beginning to operate from the level of being vulnerable, knowing that you have value, knowing that the other person also have value, and just being open to that process. And remember, if you want a friend, you must be friendly. So you have to be willing to go all the way, be willing to be vulnerable, and then I believe that can deepen the connection and help hopefully make it something that is long lasting. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Matala. She said something, fake it until you make it. That's like that's the anthem for the streets. It's a street anthem. Like you just keep up appearances until you begin to look like the appearance that you're keeping up. But we find out that many times this kind of fake it till you make it puts people in trouble, because you're running really after the faking than the making. So it gets to a point, people sink into the faking, that they lose touch and they forget that they actually are faking. Their faking almost becomes the making. and eventually frustration sets in because everybody sees you on the street and you're looking all big boy, big girl, and they're hailing and all of that, and you know that right there what you're looking out for is who can sponsor your taxi fare home. So that, that takes me to the next question. Like from all that we have talked about, it's obvious that the new broadband is in relationships. Every other thing can fail away. But relationships, if well handled, would not fail away, would not fall off. So what personal grooming and what personal development do we need so that we do not continue to fake it, but we can make it? And I'll take that to Mr. Itayo.
Sorry, what's the question again? I didn't get that clearly.
Yeah, we don't want to fake it. We want to make it. So what do we need to do as people? What personal development do we need as people to keep our relationships and to keep this new broadband to get it stronger?
Okay, I think I honestly think that what we
The network is so not cooperating.
I need to do is to faith it to you of the future religion. Can you hear me?
Um, right now I had faith it, but before
Yeah,
that we
we
didn't know what you said.
totally fit it that we have.
Okay. Well, still not
I think
hearing
it's
him.
just his network.
Yeah. Okay. So I would ask, why, Sarah, just jump on that.
So as
I've been watching your facial expression, and I think it says a lot. It's saying a lot already. So just jump on it.
no, it's just I just found it very funny when you said, people are taking photos in fancy places and yet, they need you to sponsor their taxi fare home. So I mean that was funny, but it is what it is. And I think as far as the question that you asked, Mr. Rotimi, I think we start with just being human in the sense of I treat you the way I want to be treated. Yeah. So even in terms of building relationships, I think it's just a matter of be kind to people, be good to people, genuinely good to people, because even when we network for because we can see something in the future, like I feel like that spirit carries. So like just be good to people, being good to people genuinely, and not behaving anyhowly would be the thing. Just it's also a very small world, especially now that the times that we're living in. Like just be kind to people because it gets out there. uh yeah, so treat others the way you want to be treated. As Dr. Motella said, be friendly, be friendly. Yeah.
Thank you. And I say that Saita is back. Oh, just okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I see that he's back. The network was almost getting down my story, but yeah, he's back. So we're back to you.
You're muted.
You seem muted.
Can you hear me
Village
now?
people. Yes.
Yes.
You from Kenya, you are saying village people. Okay. Oh. You know that there are more animals of the world in Kenya than Nigeria. Nigeria, there's still boundary. Before a lion comes into the city, you take transport. But you guys, you're in the middle. Anyways, I think that we need to fake it to make it, which is why faking things does not work. It's self-deceit, even if you succeed in deceiving others. But relationship, I think, needs to be something that we need to mine. See, I am a person that believes that you can't tell everything by the surface. So while I look at Waitera and I'm seeing some measure of benefit and value that I can derive in the immediate, that might not be the goal for the relationship. That's like fleecing on advantage. I want us to begin to look at it that as the new broadband, we must explore and not exploit. Because when we exploit people, we get what we can, and there's a short lifespan with the relationship. So it's not something that we should
Oh, wow. We're losing the connection again.
no milk. If what we need to do, can you hear me now?
Yes, back.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes,
All
yes.
right. So, in summary, just to encourage everyone to explore relationships, explore possibilities, don't exploit. There are people that I've known for 10 years or 15 years, and I'm just getting to leverage on the value of that relationship. So, some people, you didn't call them, you're out. You didn't know, you missed the SMS, you are blocked. And I'm like, are you dying tomorrow? Because it's only when your life is ending that you can say you're wrapping up things. You have a lot of years ahead of you. So why? I'm looking at friends that when I'm 90, if God permits, we will still be friends. We'll still be doing stuff. We'll still be ruling. We'll still be reigning. So why would you, because of SMS, because of you miss my WhatsApp call, you did not say you are busy. You should have told me you are in a meeting. Come on, guys, that's fickle, right? I've not met Omotola face to face, but Omotola is closer than some blood relations to me. I've not met Waithera face to face, but we've met on WhatsApp, we've met on Instagram, we've met on Zoom. I've met Finn face to face though. And then Olushola Olumide, I've known Olushola Olumide for years. You won't believe. I've known him from university days, right? So this is what I'm trying to say, that we must try to discipline ourselves to look beyond the surface. Someone might not look like someone who can help you today. You will be shocked. 5 years down the line, that same person you disregarded might be the one that now is raving, and then you're like, I know you from way back, you know. So I think we should believe the best of people as much as we believe the best of ourselves, and then plan for the long haul. Plan to be around long enough with your friend. Plan to be around long enough with your skill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we need to plan for the long haul. But I would like for us to bring in a balance into this. So as much as uh, it's fickle, as much as it's like making a decision on the fly to block people for, oh, I sent you a message, you didn't respond. If it happens once, or I called you and it rang 3 times before. I've had stuff like that, and I'm wondering, how did you even count the number of rings to know that I didn't? Also, I don't live by my phone. So if you called me and I didn't pick up on the first ring, how is that a problem? I have a life too. So apart from fickle things like that, when relationships, which is the new broadband, when they're becoming um, what's the word now, when they're becoming abusive, when they're becoming toxic for your mental health, even sometimes for your physical health, because there are people who you call friends or who are in your network, who are in your corner, and they really do not care whether you are dying. As long as you can still talk, you can do something. So just get it moving, get it done. They really do not care. They're that brutish. Where do we strike the balance to ensure that our broadband is sitting properly? It's not cruising in space, and suddenly one part of it, one element is falling off, and another element is falling off, and eventually the whole thing just crash lands. And I will take this right to Odishola Olumide. Where do we strike the balance between toxicity and fickleness?
Thank you very much, Fee. And we need to find out. Um, Value is of essence. If you are going to be friend, even the Bible says, can two people work together except they agree? There must be a sort of alignment. And my mental health, my sanity is of paramount importance. You are my friend on one hand. Don't forget that I have some other friends. And if somebody begins to exploit you, or they are looking to fleece on you what to gain, not what to give, that cannot be a lasting relationship. I have said it before. Loyalty is the dividend you receive for investing in people's life. You don't pick it on the street. And before you complain about people, ask yourself, what have I done to contribute to this person's life? How much have I laid down? How much opportunity have I been able to open up to this person? Some people are so glued to you, they can't leave you. It's not even because you are giving them money, but they know how much you have helped them to move in their career, in their personal growth, in their family. And they are like, wow, I thank God I met you. Not the other person who just comes around. It is when they need things, when they need your help, it is then they will call you. It is then once you see their either message or you miss their call, you know something is different. I was talking to a lady who traveled overseas. It was people who heard from her. I said, "Oh, you are away in Nigeria." They now mention my name. Did you tell so and so? He said no. Ah, one, two, three people were saying in your life, how will you take such a step and not tell so and so? Eventually, when we spoke, I said, "See, I am not offended at all." She begged and begged. I said, "See, I'm not offended." It was as a result of our relationship over time and my contribution. She was even telling somebody that person, he was the one that was responsible for the course I did in university. And the person said, "You mean that person was that close to you and has sacrificed so much for you, and you are taking this giant step without telling him?" I said, "See, relationship should be symbiotic. Don't if somebody is becoming parasitic on you, that person has become a Jonah in your life, you offload them. So that they don't cause more trouble for you as you go ahead. They become burden, they are baggages. Incidentally, they slow down your own pace. They weigh you down. If you don't offload them, you are likely going to sink with them. It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
So there should be value alignment. We should be headed in the same direction. You should give value. I should give value. In fact, more often than not, I should look for something. I was telling Eitayo the other time I was in his office that I was in a school and I was telling people about him that most of the things I do in education space, we've known each other maybe for about 19, 20 years now. If then, when I knew him, the role has changed now because he's my project director now. Then, when I knew him, I was his organ in those days. And when I say sit down, he will sit down. When I say stand up, he will stand up. But the role has changed now. He's my organ. Even if in those days, if I had been mean to him and I treated him as somebody and say, "Who are you?" and this and that, and kind of he understand the kind of demeanor or the kind of person I am. We talk a lot. Privately, we talk. I go to his office or project director. I was on leave the other time. I say, "Project director, anything to do? Let me come over to your office. Let me come and do one or two things." And I told somebody the last thing I will discuss with him is money. I won't discuss money with him. No matter what he asks me to do, I will go ahead and do it. I won't discuss money. If you like, he gives me. If you like, he doesn't give me. But me, that is my contribution for what he has done for me. And I appreciate it. I won't take it for granted. So I think that is all I want to say for now.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your examples. I enjoyed your
I know
analogies.
you will say that way. Your mouth like that.
I
You've been
really do
waiting for.
enjoy it.
You've been looking. If talk can put some people for imagination, I can imagine when he said, if he says I see that, me too, look at it, I really see that.
I won't even tell you the picture that came into my head. Maybe I'll tell you when I see you, but I'm not saying it right now. what gets in my head.
Right, Tara,
But I
stop it.
really enjoy.
Just don't follow Finn. Stop it. Delete, delete, delete.
Reboots, please. But yeah, but that's the reality of relationships. If we have to be sincere, things change. Not life is not static. So apart from even thinking about benefits, I'm thinking, oh, tomorrow this person could be in the position to help me. What if we're just doing it simply because you're being a good human? It doesn't have to be because of the benefits. It's just let's bound together. Let's bind together to take to ensure that we are making things. I know that there are people who today have helped me and have become a major contributor to my life, not because I knew them directly, but because they were friends of my parents. So it's now a second generation thing. That friendship has transcended their own generation and has come to the generation of the children. And I know people who my parents will have been in their lives because they're friends with their parents. So we should look at this and just look beyond, oh, tomorrow. If for everybody you meet, you're thinking of when the roles will switch, you may have to wait forever. But if you're just doing it because you want to be a good human, then hey, we are building our new broadband. And I think we would round off with two questions. I'll take one to Omotola and one to Waitera. So Omotola, how no, yeah. What should bind us together? What should bind us together as people? What should bind our relationships together? I know a bit of that has been discussed already, has been mentioned now, but looking at it beyond benefits, is it vision or is it result? Should I be looking at coming binding with somebody because of the vision I have, and that maybe we both have the same visions, or we're working towards the same results? Which what should be the motivating factor to bring us together?
Yeah, I believe that it starts with vision because results can be fickle. Just because someone is not showing result now does not mean that they're not going to show it later. And so I think it should be with vision. Vision is more powerful. Vision is more formidable than just result alone. Because somebody that is producing one result today can end up producing multiples in the next few years. And then also, more importantly, I think love should be the ingredient that binds us together. There's this saying that says a lot of people use things, but I think our generation and the world has gotten it wrong, where we use people and we love things. And so I think we need to start reorientating ourselves and change it to loving people and using things, not using loving things and using people. Thank you.
No, right. Thank you for that. Very succinct, very direct. And for Waithera, I would ask for people that deal with inferiority complex in their relationships. They're your friends, but they just, for whatever reason, they just believe that you have it better than them, simply because they don't feel good about themselves. Two ways. How do you, as the envied, how do you, as the envied, help them? And what would you say to them who are the envier to get out
Oh,
of that space? I coined those words right now. I don't know if they exist, but I just
yeah,
coined them.
it could be the newest word in dictionary.com tomorrow. So you might as well. Wow. How how would one deal with inferiority complex? So I think first of all, taking a step back and just asking what's going on. What's going on? Why am I feeling this way about this? I've actually been on the envy. Who is the envier?
The
Who's the
envier is the one with the envier is the one dealing with the inferiority complex. So they're looking and from the outside and they're envying. The envied is the other person.
Okay. Also, the thing about, like, we see as we are. We don't see things as they truly are. We see things as we are. So if you're feeling some type of way about a friend of yours, um, if I'm feeling like for me, it's always to take a step back and ask myself what's going on. why am I feeling this way about this person's success? Why am I like, what's going on? Because there's always something going on at the back. And more often than not, it will be, feeling insecure, feeling like you're not moving ahead fast enough as they are. And so just coming back to a place of also affirming yourself and realizing, okay, I would also want to move ahead, but I need to be, that thing about being also being happy about other people prospering, even though you're not yet. So also cultivating gratitude, affirming myself, and even going out of my way to actually congratulate them on the things that they're doing, just to, get out of that funk. Those would be my thoughts about that.
All right, thank you very much. It's been an interesting discussion, an interesting show this morning. And as we round off, I would say that this broadband needs to be strengthened, and it's a good day as any to strengthen it by Mr. Rotimi Eitayo fetting all of us to Daddy's birthday. Strengthen this relationship, strengthen this broadband. We all are expecting our IVs. And with that, we thank everyone who has joined us, everyone who has been a part of the show this morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you to every of the analysts. We have enjoyed from your pool of wisdom, and we will be rounding off this morning. I'm enjoying something right now, but I won't say what it is. Uh, we'll be rounding off right this minute with our usual our sign off. Our sign off. I think it's a very unique one. And thank you. I say all mics are on now. We are ready to say our goodbye. So let's take it away, Tim.
It's
It's
always a
Always a
great
great
always
morning
a
morning
great morning on
on the
on
the
the
Good
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 Morning
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 Education
Education
Show.
Show.
Education Show.
Have a wonderful day,
Bye.
everyone.